Welcome back guys, hope you're all doing great. Well, in this video we're gonna learn how to create ourselves an image analyzer by using the Google Studio AI. So basically this project helps you to identify any image. You just literally upload that image and that will analyze that image and it will gives you what exactly that image has, right? So that is what this project is all about. So let me show you. So all I have to do is to click here and choose any particular image. So let me go to my downloads and let me choose the images. For instance, if I choose any particular images from here, for instance like this, if I click open, and that image will be instantly loaded up over here, so the user can able to visually see what exact image he selected, and click identify image. This will use the Google AI Studio to analyze this image into certain image parts. Basically you can see this is an image as an ice cream cone, and it will gives you the information about that particular uploaded image, and it will gives you the related image keywords. Basically you can click over here and you can start to regenerate the content based on that, or you can have the related questions as well as what is this origin of the waffle cones, and is there any specific type of chocolate sauce, or for instance let's say if I click this, so that will start analyzing again the same content based on it. It will regenerate the content based on the questions what I selected, right? So this is what we are going to build from the completely from the ground by using the text stack like Next.js 14, TypeScript, and using the Tailwind CSS for the styling purposes, and for this API for the AI content which we are using, which is Google Generative AI. We can simply say Gemini API, right? We are going to use the Gemini API, right? And the key functionalities in this, we do have the image upload where the user can upload the image through the image uploader component, and image analysis. The uploaded image is sent to the Gemini API AI using the API for analysis, and information display. So for displaying the informations, the AI generated informations about that particular image is displayed in the result display component, and we are generating the related keywords and the related questions, and we are regenerating the content based on those keywords and the questions. And yeah, these are the fun things that we are going to build in this project. And for the future improvements, what exactly that we are going to do in the future, so we can use the user authentication for maintaining the personal experience for the users. Then we can add the image categorizations and tagging features, and we can implement the gallery of previously analyzed images, and we can optimize the performance for faster image processing, and we can use the multi-language support for the global users. And even you can go for the like the Stripe subscriptions also, for if you want to go for faster analyzations or limit the user analyzing, because we need to avoid the scamming also, right? Like spamming. We don't want to spam our entire website, right? So in order to protect that, we need to go for the premium versions also. So these are the future enhancements that we can do in this project, right? To keep it simple, how to work with the AI and all those things, we are just going to create a simple image identifier just like this, and this is completely responsive, right? So without wasting your time, let's jump into the video straight away. All right then, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep this in the right hand side. Let me create a new project folder over here, and I'm going to rename that project folder as, let's say, image analyzer, something like that. And let me open this in my Visual Studio Code, new terminal, open it in the Visual Studio Code, and let me keep this Visual Studio Code on the right hand side. Perfect. So let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see through it very clearly. All right, so let's open up the terminal over here. Perfect, right? So all we have to do is to run a certain command. So over here, in order to create a next application, so you can click over here and search for Next.js simply, and click the get started option. And if you click the installation options, that will gives you the command in order to create a new application. So click next npx create next app at latest, and I'm going to use the exact same project folder which we have created. So use the / option, hit the enter. So that is going to create that application. So it is going to ask you proceed it, and of course we are going to use the TypeScript and yes, and use the Tailwind CSS, of course, yes. And source, nope, we are not going to use it. App router, we are going to use the app router, and I'm not going to change the import alias, right? So this will take some time, so let's wait until it's successfully installed. All right, so here we go. So we successfully created the project and it is downloaded and everything. So if you expand the app folder, you can see we have our layout.tsx and we do have this page.tsx and everything. Perfect. So this is what all we needed, right? Okay, so now all we have to do is to get back over here. So let's fire this application and let's look how exactly it's looking. So npm run dev, so that is going to run the application in the localhost server, and let me bring it over here. So it is being compiled. Okay, so this is how it's exactly looking right now, right? So let's go ahead and start writing the customized styles just like the same way over here. So in order to do that, I'm gonna say, so this is the page.tsx, right? So the page.tsx, let's start customizing it. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to literally delete everything from here, and I'm going to use the sfc, and I'm just going to wait a second. What is happening over here? Yep, sfc, and I'm just going to say home page, and here I'm just going to say div. This is going to be the home page or something. Save these changes, and this is how it looks exactly right now, right? And let's get back to the global.css. Okay, so I'm gonna literally delete the entire styles from here, delete it, and I'm gonna replace it with my styles over here. So don't worry, I already dropped the link in the description, so you guys go ahead and copy that and paste it over here. So save this. Okay, so and refresh it. Let me just replace these from here. All right, wait a minute. Why we are facing this issue? Let me stop the server and rerun it and refresh it. All right, so I figured out the issue over here. So this is because of this particular style. These styles are not available, so that's the thing. I just delete it. Perfect. Now you can see the entire structure has been changed. So you guys have to delete these, the last entire line, these two. I think because of that only this issue has been happening, because of that border style is not there, it's not available. I made some mistake, so you guys can literally delete it and this is fine. So now we have the entire working structure over here. All right, so now let's jump into the page.tsx file. Okay, so first what we need to do, we need to fix this header section. So let's go ahead and do that header section. So this is the place where we are going to do that complete stuff, right? For this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say class name, which is going to be the minimum height of that entire thing. It's going to be the screen height, and the bg color, it's going to be gray 100. So this is how it looks like, and let's delete this. Then we need to bring the header section right now. So header section right over here. Next, what we need to do is I'm going to create a header, right? So for this, I'm just going to say class name, which is going to be bg white, and we need to have shadow, which is going to be shadow sm, something like this, right? So far we can't see anything because of there is no padding at all. And inside this division, header, I'm going to create one more division, which is going to be the class name, right? So this, the maximum width of this, it's going to be 7xl. So maximum width, it should not go beyond that, and the margin left and right should be auto, and px it's going to be 4, and on the small devices onwards, px it's going to be 6, and on the large devices onwards, the px, which is going to be 8, and padding top and bottom, which is going to be 6. Enter. And inside here, I'm going to create one more division, which is going to be a flex item center and justify everything between. Okay. And inside here, now I need to create the logo, and then I need to bring the menus. So inside this logo section, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a division, which is going to be class name, flex item center. Then inside here, I'm going to bring the image from where? From the next image, which is going to be the source. So of course you can use any image, but in this case, I'm going to bring myself the image which I used. So let me bring the image. So this is the image which I've been using, right? This is the image. So you guys use your own custom image as well as. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring this image logo and drop it straight away into this public folder over here. Perfect. Close this and let me bring that image logo over here. So which is coming from the public folder itself. So /image logo. Then alternative, which is going to be the image identifier logo or something. That's a custom text which we are giving for it. Then we need to use the width, which is going to be 40, and height, which is going to be 40 as well as. And then class name and margin right, I'm going to increase some space from that. So that should bring the image over here. So let's wait. Yep, here we go. See, it is loading that image right now. Then right after this image, I'm going to bring one h1 tag, and inside that I'm just going to say image identifier, something like that. So for this h1 tag, I'm going to change the styles. So class name, which is going to be text to Excel, all right? And then font should be bold, and then text should be blue 600 or something. Blue 600. Something like this. So this is how it looks, which is quite exactly the same what we do have right now, right? Perfect. Then what we need to do is, all we have to do is to go ahead and start bringing this menu sections. So right after this division, where the place where it has been completed, so we need to open the nav, right? And inside here, I'm going to bring the UL tag for this class name, which is going to be flex space x, it's going to be 4. And inside here, let me bring the link tag, next link, and inside that link I'm going to say home, and the href, it's going to be simply hash, that is the home, right? It's a single page website. Maybe in the future you might need to upgrade it into the multi-page websites. In that case, we need to customize this menu. For the time being, let's keep it simple. Then for this class name, text, of course, is going to be gray 600, and then on hover, I'm going to say text, which is going to be blue 600, and then it's need to have this transition, and duration should be 150, and then ease in out, something like this, right? So let me enable the word wrap. So view word wrap, so you can able to see it completely. So now if you check it out over here, this is how it looks. So now all I have to do is to copy this link tag and paste it few more times, and then I'm just going to say this is going to be how it works, and this is going to be how it works, and here this is going to be the features, and this is also going to be the features. Save it. So this is how it looks. Now if you click this out, it will change the hash IDs on the top over there, right? Perfect. So now we completed the header section, which means the header is completely completed. Then all we have to do is to move on to the main container, section. So if you plan to do this as a separate component, we can do that. All we have to do is to go ahead and create a new component folder in net components. And inside this components folder, I'm going to create header.tsx and make sure that's a client component, use client. And here I'm just going to say rafc, and let's change this into header. And all I have to do is to get back over here and cut it from here and bring it up over here and then paste it. Make sure that you imported the link and make sure that you imported the image, next image. Now both of them are imported. Save it. And let's get back over here. We don't need these import statements, and let's bring the header from /components, right? Save it. Right, here we go. Although I think this components folder needs to be in the global, so let's keep the components folder in the global, move it outside. So now let's delete this import statement and let's customize this from add components. So this is how it needs to be imported. Perfect. So now we have our clean page.tsx file, right? Now all we have to do is to jump into the main container. So let's go ahead and start working on the main container sections. Okay, so in order to do that, all I have to do is to create one more component. So let me create one more component over here, and let's say main container.tsx. And here I'm just going to mark this as a client component, client, use client, and then let's say RAFC as the main container, something like this. Save it, and let's bring the main container over here. Main container. Perfect. Now we have ourselves our main container. So let's get back into the main container and close all the others. Just keep the main containers alone. All right. Now inside here, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change this over here as the main, just like that. Okay, so for this main container we need to change the style. So class name, which is of course, this is also going to be the maximum width of 7 excel. So let me enable the word wrap so you can see it clearly, right? So maximum, and then mx should be auto, which means the margin left and right should be auto, and px of course it's going to be 4. On small device px it's going to be 6, and on the large device px it's going to be 8, and py it's going to be 12, right? Perfect. Then inside here, now I'm going to create a division which is going to be the BG white color, right? White. And then rounded, of course, it should be LG. Then shadow should be Excel, and overflow should be hidden. And inside this division, I'm going to create one more division which is going to have the padding on all the sides as 8, right? And inside here, now I'm going to have the h2, which is going to say identify your image, something like this is how it looks. Then for this, I'm going to say class name, text of course, which is going to be the 3XL, and font of course it's going to be the extra bold, and text color which is going to be gray 900, and margin bottom which is going to be 8, and the text should be in the center. So this is how it looks. Perfect. Then right after this h2 tag, I'm going to create one more division which is going to say margin bottom as 8, and inside here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a label. So label which is going to have the HTML4 as image upload, right? And then it's going to have a class name which is going to be block, text of course SM, and then font of course medium, and then text of course which is going to be gray 700, and margin bottom which is going to be 2. And inside this I'm just going to say upload an image. Save it. This is how it looks. Then right after this label, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring an input tag where the user can upload that image, so which is going to be the type of file, and I'm going to say ID, which is going to be the exact same HTML4. So copy and paste it over here, and it should accept any image. So I'm just going to say image /star. Then on change, I need to call a function which is going to be handle image upload, which we don't have this function, so don't worry about it. We will create it in a minute. Okay, now if I save it, of course you will get this error. So what I need to do, I'm just going to copy it, and here I'm just going to say const handle image upload, which is going to be a callback function, so don't worry about it, right? Then we need to customize that input look and feel. So class name, which is going to be block width, of course it should be full, and then text of course it's going to be SM, right? And then we need to change the color. So what I need to do is, after this text size, I need to change the text color. So gray, which is going to be 500, and then the file margin right 4 for the file, then file py, which is going to be 2, and then file, padding on all the sides, sorry, px, which is going to be 4. Then file needs to be rounded full. Then file, I'm going to change the border, which is going to be 0. Then the file, which is going to be text sm, right? Then the file, which is going to be font semi bold. Then the file look, which is going to be bg blue 50. Now if we save these changes, this is how this file structure would looks like. Then we can do a little bit more. So file, which is going to be text blue 700. Then on hover, the file should looks like bg blue 100, right? Then we should have some nice transition effects, and the duration needs to be 150, and ease in out. Oops, ease in out. Yes, perfect. So this is how it looks, right? That looks awesome. All right, now we have the input. Now all I have to do is to make sure that the file handling function is working perfectly fine. So let me get to the console. Where is the console? Right, so let me clean it. So this is the console we do have. So let me get into the image handling function, right? So yep, here we go. So basically this function is going to get an event. So we need to mention what type of this event. This is going to be the React. So make sure that React, and it is being imported over here. So React dot, this is going to be the change event. What exact event? HTML element, input element event, right? So make sure that event is being properly added up over there, the type of that event. So if the event dot target dot files, if it is say so, and event dot target dot files of 0, which means either if you have the files array, or if you have, and you should have the first index, the which means any single image needs to be selected. That is what we are trying to do over here. And then here I need to set this image. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a state in order to set the image, because right after here we need to display that image, right? So what I'm going to do is, so use state imported, then I'm going to create the use state snippet without clicking or typing anything else. I'm just going to simply say image, then press the tab key. It will automatically jumps over here, and initially it's going to be null. So we need to set what exact type that state is going to be. So the state, which is going to be either it can be a file or it can be a null, right? This is what this state is going to be. So right now I'm just going to say console.log e.target.files of 0th index. Let's save it. And now let me choose an image from here. Let me choose this image. And here we go. See, you will have this complete image over here. Now what I need to do, instead of doing this console log, I'm just going to say set image e.target.files of 0th index. Right now we will have that image over here. Now all I have to do is to display that image in this particular area. So in order to do that, let's get back over to the design view. So let's get back over there, and right after this the division, wait a minute, so I need to figure it out which division. So right after this particular division, yes, right after here, display the image, right? So here I'm going to make sure I do have the image. If I do have the image, and I'm going to render it. So what I'm going to render it, I'm going to create a division, right? So class name, which is going to be margin bottom 8. Then I'm going to say flux justify, it should be in the center. And here I'm going to create an image. So now you might wonder, so how am I supposed to display that image, right? So I have a way to display that image. So basically we are going to use the URL instance provided by the TypeScript itself. So here source, so make sure that is being imported from the next image. Yep, image, and make sure this needs to be imported underneath it, because React is the global one, needs to be on the top, right? So image, and here so src, which is going to be I'm going to use the URL instance URL dot create object URL. Then you need to supply the image. So basically this will helps you to create as an object URL, and that URL will be loaded up in your source folder as a string in the source. So alternative, which is going to be the uploaded image, then I need to display the width. So width, I'm going to keep it as a 300 or not 3000. Then height, of course, I'm going to keep it as a 300. Then the class name, which is going to be rounded LG. Then I need to have the shadow as a medium. So save this, right? Let me refresh this. And if I click over here, let me choose an image, open it, and there we go. See, this is how we can load that image in a locally. But if you wish to save this image for the future enhancement, you should use any like image storage, cloud storage like Firebase or upload thing. You can use any kind of image uploading options that you wish to, right? So right now we are using the local. Now we know that we have the image in our hand. Now all I have to do is to bring a button in order to display something like identify that image. So let's get back over here. So right after this image, what I need to do is I need to bring a button, which is basically going to be the type of button itself. Then here I'm gonna say if so we need to monitor the loading state as well as, right? So in order to do that, I'm going to create a loading state, right? So let's create a loading state. So move up to the top and here use state snippet. Let's say loading and set loading. By default, it is going to be the false, right? Oops, false. Let's scroll all the way to the bottom, the place where we are having the button. So this button needs to be disabled whenever we don't have the image. This button needs to be disabled if I don't have the image or if it is loading. If any of this true, this button needs to be disabled. And inside here, based on the loading state only, if it is loading, I need to say identifying something like this, or else I just need to say identify image, right? Save it, right? We have the button image over here, right? So so this is how it looks, right? Just like the exact same thing. So now let's start customizing the button look and feel. So class name, which is going to be width, of course it should be full. Then BG, it's going to be blue 600. Then text should be in the white. PY, it's going to be 3, and PX, it's going to be 4, and rounded, it's going to be LG. And whenever I'm hovering it, the BG blue color should be 700, and I need to have nice transitions and duration, of course, which is going to be 150, and ease in out. Okay, whenever the button is disabled, I need to change the opacity to 50 because it should not display. And if it is disabled, I just need to say cursor not allowed. Okay, and the font should be in the medium and the text size should be LG. So this is how the button will looks like. Okay, perfect. Now whenever I click this button, I need to call a very specific function in order to identify that image. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say on click, I'm going to call a function which is going to be identify image, which this function we don't have it yet. So let's go ahead and create that function. So right after this function up, so I'm going to create a const identify the function, which is going to be a nameless function. Perfect. Right now we don't have any issue because of this function. We do have this function there, right? So in order to identify the image, we need to bring the Google AI Studio, and I'm going to show you how to configure those API and get the APIs and everything. So let's go ahead and get that Google AI Studio. All right then, so in order to integrate the Google Gemini AI, so we need to install a very specific package. So let's open up, stop the server, clear it. And this is the package that we need to install. So npm install add google/generative AI, hit the enter. And in the browser, simply search for aistudio.google.com, aistudio.google.com. So that will take you to the Google AI Studio. So here you can see the option for get the API. So click this get the API, and here you can create yourself a new API. And in this case, I'm going to use the existing API which I already created. I'm just going to click this in order to copy this API, right? And get back over here and create a new environment variable, okay, .env. And inside this, what we need to do is, all you have to do is to replace that environment variable. So inside that environment env, all I have to do is to, so let me paste that for the time instance, right? So here we need to create a very specific variable called next public Google Gemini AI API key, something like this. Next underscore public underscore Google underscore Gemini API key. This is how you need to keep your API key. So save this. Okay, you can copy this from the description and you can copy and paste it, right? And I need to ignore that env file. So click the git ignore, and right after here ignore the env file too, because this file needs to be ignored when the time I'm pushing this code to the GitHub. So we don't want to do that. So ignore it, right? Perfect. All right. So now all I have to do is to get back into the okay. So now let's get into the this identify image. So let's change this function into an asynchronous function, right? Inside here only we're gonna do some changes over here. All right. So basically this function is going to get an the additional prompt which is going to be the type of string, and by default it is going to be a string, right? And inside here, now what I need to do is, if I don't have the image, I simply need to return it. Okay, if I don't have an image, ignore it. Then I need to say set loading as true. Perfect. Right after here, what I need to do is I need to create the instance. So let's get to the create new prompt and click the get code option, change this to JavaScript. So you can see how they are getting the API key and what model that we are using and what are the simple configurations and everything. If you wish to use this, you can simply use it. In this case, I'm just going to type it completely. So here I'm just going to say const generative AI is equals to new Google generative AI. From where? From add Google generative AI. Make sure that has been imported properly. Open it, and inside here I need to supply the environment variable, so which is can be accessible from where? From the process.env. So here process.env dot environment variable, right? So this is saying like argument of string, it are undefined, is not assignable to the parameter of string. So basically there is a possible of getting this undefined, so simply add not sign at the end, so that it will be ignored that issue. You can fix the type issue from there. So save it. Then right after here I need to create the model. So basically for the model we're going to use this particular model, Gemini 1.5 flash model. So you can simply copy it from here and paste it over here. Perfect. Now we have ourselves the nice model over here, right? After here, then what I need to do is I need to open the try and catch. Okay, so if that is any issue, for the time being I'm just going to console dot whatever the error it is, error wait a minute, error as error, then I'm gonna get the message out of it. Okay, this is how we can get the error message. Perfect. Then right after here, and this I just need to break the images into the certain parts. So in order to break those images into certain parts, I'm going to create a one more function over here. So let's say const file generative part. Okay, so this file, this is a function, which is going to be an asynchronous function, which helps us to break the images into a certain parts. And so I'm gonna get the file, which is going to be the type of the file itself. All right, and inside here, this function is basically going to return a promise, which is going to be a type of the object. Inside here I'm gonna say let's say inline data as an object, which is going to have the data as the string. Then I'm going to have the mime type, and that is also going to be a string. Okay, so we are getting an issue over here. All right, so this is not an issue. What exactly is, because we haven't written anything. So all you have to do is we need to return a new promise. That's the issue. So let's return a new promise over here, new promise, which is going to have the resolve. Oops, don't import anything. Just type it resolve and reject, and it's going to open and callback function over here, right? So now we don't have any issue at all over there, right? So now inside here, what I need to do is, so we are going to let's say inside here, right over here, I'm going to create a reader. So const reader, which is going to read that particular file, new file reader, open it, save it, and right after here, so if the reader is on load end, if it is successfully loaded and it is having the file in it, then I'm going to call this callback function. And inside here, I'm just going to say const base 64 data is equals to reader dot result as what? I'm going to load it as a string. Then const base 64 content, which is equals to base 64 data dot split by using this as a delimiter. Then access the first instance of the first index, that will be your content, right? So then I need to resolve this promise because I need to send this. So resolve, open it, return this inline data. So the data instance, which is going to be the base content, then the mime type, which is going to be your file dot type. Perfect. So right after this particular line, so reader dot on error, if in case is there any error, I just need to simply reject it. And if the reader dot read as data URL, I'm going to supply that file. So check it out. So this line, if there is any error is happening, this will reject that entire promise, and this will read as data URL. This function will be triggered, and once the loaded has been successfully completed, it is going to resolve at that get the data and get the content, and it's going to resolve this particular inline data object. So this is the object. This is how the file images and everything will be breaked up, and it will be get back from where it's need to be get back right up over here. So what I need to do is, so right after here inside the try, I'm going to get the result. So const result is equals to wait a minute. Not result, which is first we need to get the image parts. So const image parts, which is equals to await file to generate the parts and supply the image into it. So now we have the image parts. Then I need to supply the result. I need to access the result, which is equals to await. I'm going to use the model dot generate the content, open it. Then I'm going to open the array, hit the enter. So here I need to supply the prompts first. So I'm going to access that prompt. So this is how the exact same prompt which you're going to use. So let me give that additional prompt. Yes. So identify this image and provides its names and important information, including the brief explanation about that particular image, and use whatever the additional prompt which I supplied to it. Then right after this comma, I need to supply the image part, or which particular image parts that we are trying to fetch that result. So supplied. All right. Perfect. So now all I have to do is So that is going to get the response right after here, right? So all I have to, right after this, I need to get the response. So const response is equals to await result dot response. Save it, right? So let's check it out now whether it is working perfectly fine or not. So let me run this application npm run dev, and let me close this and let me refresh this. All right, perfect. So here now let me choose this file, click this image, open it, and let me choose, let me click identify. It's still identifying. It's loading. Oh, my bad. Okay, so what I need to do is I just need to, so finally, if there is, whether it is there any error or not, I just need to change this loading state into false. And of course, I need to print this response in the console.log. I failed to do that, console.response. All right, so let me close this and let me refresh it, open any other image, choose any other image, click this and click identify. It is loading. Yep, now it is successfully loaded and you can see we are getting the results over here. This is the response that we are getting and this is the text that we wanted it, right? This is the text that we are looking for. This is the text object is a function. From the text instance, we need to get the response. So let me show you how to get the response from out of it. So now I know that I'm getting the response, which means our API is working perfect. Sorry, the Gemini AI, it's working perfectly. It is breaking the parts and it's sending that image, it's analyzing it and it's giving us the response. So I need to extract the text from it. So const text is equals to response dot text. Okay, then I'm gonna trim that text, save it, and then now I'm just going to say console.log text. Let's check it out. Click over here, choose the image, click it and identify the image, opening it, still it's identifying, and there we go. See, this is the text that we are looking for. This is the image of 3 scoops of ice cream in a blue bowl. That is a scoop of strawberry ice cream and the scoop of chocolate ice cream and the scoop of vanilla ice cream. Damn, that's so well detailed over here. See, even I don't know this is a strawberry flavor, and this is, I know that this is a vanilla and this is chocolate. Perfect, and it's having 2 wafer cookies in it. Wow, that's perfect. The ice cream is topped with the 2 wafer cookies. This image is likely used to the food blog or magazine or the for advertising purposes. Okay, that's so detailed. So now we know that this is working perfectly fine, right? So now we have this text. So let's go ahead and start displaying the text. So in order to store this result, all I have to do is to create a state. So let me get back over here. Use state snippet, and here I'm just going to say result, and this is going to be null, and the type of this, which is going to be either it should be a string or it should be a null, right? Save it. All right then, so now let's display that result over here. So in order to display the result, first we need to store it. So instead of simply console.log, I'm just going to say set result and open it. I'm just going to store the text in it, right? So now we have the text, so save it. So let's get back to the all the way to the bottom. So the place where we are displaying the button and everything. So this is the place where we are displaying the button. So right after this division, so right after here, I need to display the result. If I do have the result and render it. So here I'm just going to create a div, which is going to be a class name, bgblue50, bgblue50, and padding of course 8, and the border which is going to be top, and the border which is going to be blue 100. Then right inside this division, I'm gonna bring an h3 and I'm going to say image information, something like that. Save it, right? So let me get the result. Click this, choose an image, open it, and choose the identify. It's identifying. Okay, so now we should able to see this image information, because we know that we do have some informations in our text, in our state. So for this, what I'm going to do, class name, which is going to be text to Excel, and then font, of course, which is going to be bold, and then text, which is blue 800, and then margin bottom, which is going to be 4. Save it. Perfect. Then all I have to do is to jump over here, create a division, class name, which is going to be uh, max width, which is going to be none. Okay, then inside here I just need to split the text, because it is a complete string. We are not getting line by line as an array. So what I need to do is, we need to break the result dot split. I need to split it by using this new line. If it is figured out a new line in it, then I need to use the map, and I'm going to get the line and as well as the index out of it. Then I'm going to call the callback function, then open it. So here, if open it, then line dot starts with important information, like this. If it is starting something like this, or inside here, or if the line dot starts with open it, other informations, because this is how we will get the data from the AI because of our prompt. If it is say so, I need to open this, then I need to return. Okay, I'm gonna return an h4. Based on that condition, I'm gonna return an h4. Inside that, I'm gonna display the line, and this is going to be having the class name, and I need to supply the key as the index, so you will not get the issue. And the class name, which is going to be text Excel, and font, of course, which is going to be semi bold, and margin top, which is going to be 4, margin bottom, which is going to be 2, and the text blue, which is going to be 700. Now let me choose an image, open it, identify. Okay, so it's still displaying as the image informations alone. Okay, which means from the data which we don't have this important informations or the other informations. All right, so this is the place, this, and here else, if open it, if the line dot match to this specific pattern, if the line dot match to this specific pattern, or if the line dot match, if the line dot starts with this, something like this, then I need to return li, which is going to have the key as the index. Then it's going to have the class name, which is going to be margin left as 4, and margin bottom, which is going to be 2, then text gray, which is going to be 700. Then here inside, I need to render the line. Okay, then at last I need to check one more condition, else if line dot trim, if it is not equals to this empty string, then I need to return a paragraph tag, which is going to be key as the index, then class name, which is going to be margin bottom as 2, then text gray, which is going to be 800, and inside this paragraph tag I need to return the line. So basically we just getting the result, and we are just breaking into the multiple lines, figuring out if there is any headings or anything else because we know that important informations and the other information, because that is how I just asked in the prompt, important informations and any other brief explanation about that. Okay, so that is what exactly the data will be written. And at last, if written that particular line, so right after here I'm just simply going to return null. If nothing is there, I simply return it as null, right? So now let me choose it, click over here, choose any image, open it and identify it. Here we go. See, this is what we got. All right, so this is fine. So if there is any image, so let me choose over here the exactly same image. I think this is the exact same image I selected over here. I think so. Nope. Let me choose anything else, any other image. Oh, this is the one. So now if I choose identify, let's see what exactly we got over here. See, this is exactly what we got over here, right? So if I choose any other images, for instance, let me open the Google and let me choose any plant or something. Okay, so let's download few plant images. So let me download this, save this image as desktop, let's say plant 1, and let me choose this one and let me save this image as plant 2. All right, so now we have those images. So let's get back over here and let me choose that plant image now. Desktop, choose plant 1, open it and identify this image. Let's check it out, what exactly it is giving us. All right, so this is the image. This image is the rubber plant, also known as the rubber fig. I have no idea. Yep, it is a rubber plant. Perfect. It is giving the exact detail what it is meant to be. All right, perfect. So that is exactly we wanted it. All right, so this is the prompt and it is working perfectly how it is supposed to be. So it is giving us the necessary informations and the styles and everything. It is perfectly fine, right? So now all we have to do is to generate the related keywords. So let's go ahead and start doing that. So right after this particular division right over here, I'm going to create one more div, which is going to be class name margin top as 6. Okay, so now we need to generate the related keywords. So inside this particular division, so over here I'm just going to say h4 and I'm just going to say related keywords. So for this h4, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say class name, which is going to be text lg and then font semi bold and margin bottom as 2 and text blue, which is going to be 700. Save it, so you should be able to see that. All right, it is gone, so don't worry about that. So right after here, so create the div class name, which is going to be flex wrap, and then gap, of course it's going to be 2, and this is the place where we are going to generate the keywords. All right, so for that, what I need to do, move all the way to the top, and over here I'm just going to create a use state in order to store the keywords. So which is going to be the keywords, set keywords, and basically it is going to be an array. This array is the type of a string array. Perfect, save it. Okay, so now in order to generate the keywords where we are getting the result, so this is the place where we are getting the result, right? So at some point you might get some unwanted text inside your results as well. So in order to clean those results, all you need to replace these contents. So this is how you need to replace those things. So this is the thing, we are just trimming the record and we need to replace. If you are getting this unwanted backticks, you need to convert them into a string, and if you are getting any unwanted extra asterisk symbol in it, you need to convert them into a string. If you are getting single asterisk, you need to convert them. If you're getting like this, convert them like this. Or if you're getting any other patterns, so something like this pattern, you need to convert them into a new line. So these are the way to keep clean your record, right? So I'm just Check it out now. Click over here, choose this plant tool, open it, and click identify this image. All right, so here we go. So now we have that. So far currently it is giving us a clean data, but not every time. But sometimes you might get a data in a uncleaned way, having some this star symbol or hyphen or any other extra lines in it. So we need to break them and we need to clean them. So that's the process we need to do. That's why I'm just replacing it. Perfect. Then right after here, I'm just going to say generate keywords as a function. Then I'm going to supply the text into it. So we know that we don't have that function. So right after here, I'm just going to say const generate keywords equals to a callback function. So basically this function is going to get the text and that is going to be the string, right? All right. So here what I need to do is I need to break those into words. Const words is equals to, so I'm just going to, so text dot split, split, open it. So I'm gonna split by using slash s, then use the plus sign and slash. Okay, so basically what exactly we are doing over here, so this line is used to split a string into an array of words. So that is what we are doing. So we know that text is a string that we are receiving from the parent method over here, right? Then we are splitting it into the multiple words by using the split method, and we are supplying a regular expression in it. So basically this is an argument which is passed as a regular expression to the split method, right? So that defines where the string should be split. So slash s, which means this is the plain, this is the one. This in a regular expression, this represents any white space characters like space or tabs or line breaks, anything, it should be splitted up. And the plus sign, this one, this means one or more of the preceding elements, right? Keep it in mind. Plus means one or more of the preceding elements. So slash s plus means one or more white space characters, right? That is what we are trying to do over here. All right, so perfect. Then what I need to do is I need to generate the keywords. So const keywords is equals to, all right, so keyword set. So const keyword set is equals to new set. Let's create a new set, okay, and which is going to be type of a string itself. Then perfect, now we have a new keyword set, and words dot for each, open it, and I'm going to extract the word out of it if the word dot, sorry, if the word dot length is greater than 4 and not any of these words sets. We should not include these things because we know that these keywords, these words might be repeated in the AI generated words, this, that, with, form. We need to ignore these word sets. I don't want to include them as a keyword in the suggestions list. So includes word dot lowercase to lowercase. Let's convert everything into a lowercase. Perfect. If it is say so, I need to open this and I'm going to add those into the keyword set dot add the word. So I'm just checking whether it is greater than length. If that it is greater than length is greater than 4, and it should not in any of these words. If it is not, then I'm just going to add it into the set, right? Then all I have to do is to write after here set keywords, open it, and array dot from, okay, supply the keyword set into it. Then I need to slice, I just need top 5, so 0 comma 5, right? That is what we are doing now. So we are getting the top 5 keywords which is generated from the text, and we are going to set it to our states. So now we know that the keywords will be assigned to that particular thing Now all we have to do is to get back to the all the way to the bottom and display the related data where it is right after this division. Hit the enter. So open it. So what I need to do is keywords. If I do have the keywords, then open the map function and extract the keyword, then extract the index out of it, get it. And I'm gonna create a button which is going to be the type of button itself, and I'm gonna supply the index into it. Then inside here I'm gonna display the keyword. So this button basically, which is going to be class name. Okay, so class name, which is going to be bg blue of over here. So which is going to be the bg blue of 100 and text blue of 800. Then px of course 3, py as 1, and rounded of course full, and text of course sm, and font of course medium. And whenever I'm hovering it, bg of course, which is going to be blue as 200. Then I need to bring the transitions, then I need to bring the durations to 150 and ease in out. Saved. Let's check it out. So click over here, generate an image, identify it, and there we go. See, now we have this rubber plant and all these things. Now what I need to do is, when I click these keywords, I need to generate the regenerate the content based on these keywords, right? So in order to do that, what I need to do is I'm gonna add an on click function for it as regenerate content. Open it. Then inside here I need to supply that keyword. So basically I'm going to supply that keyword to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and create this content. So click over here, copy this, scroll all the way to the bottom, so top. Right after here I'm going to say const regenerate the content as a function, and inside this function basically it's going to receive the keyword, which is going to be the type of string itself, right? Inside here I'm just going to say call identify the image, open it, and I'm going to generate the font as prompt as focus more on aspects related to this keywords. So dollar and supply that keyword into it, full stop, right? Save it. Perfect. Now if I click this rubber, it is saying that generating the content, and you can see the rubber plant is now, it is regenerating the entire content over here. So if I choose a milky or something, see, this is the rubber plant, also known as the Fucus elastica. So it's regenerating the content because it is focused on that specific point. So if you can prompt it, you can do some prompt engineering over here and write the prompt to be more specific in order to fetch that more specific details, right? For the time for this particular example, I think this is more than enough. Now we have this image informations and the related keywords informations. Now all we have to do is to go ahead and generate this related questions as well as. So in order to do that, all I have to do is to, right after this keyword sections, I need to bring the related questions as well as. So in order to generate the related questions, so first I need to generate the state. So here use state snippets related questions generated. It should be an empty array and it should be a type of string array. Perfect. Then let's scroll all the way to the bottom. So now all the way to the bottom, so that's the place where we need to generate the related questions as well as and everything, right? So this is the division, it is getting ended up over here. So right, make sure, yep, where it is ending, yes, right after here. Perfect. So here I need to bring the related questions. So we know that we have that states, right? So over here what I need to say related questions dot map sorry, length. If the length is greater than 0, then only I need to display this. Over here, I'm going to create a div, which is going to be class name, which is say margin top, of course, 6. Inside here, I'm going to bring the h4 tag, or I'm going to simply copy this from here, paste it, and I'm going to change this to related questions. Perfect. Then what I'm going to do is right after this division, I'm going to create a UL tag, which is going to have a class name space y as 2. Hit the enter, then open the related questions dot map. Then I'm going to extract the question out of it and the index out of it. Render this li tag, which is going to have the index and which is going to have we don't need to have the class name, because inside here I'm going to have a button, which is going to be the type of button itself. And here I'm going to say class name, which is going to be text should align from the left side, and the width of course should be full, and bg blue of course it should be 200. Then text blue should be 800. Then px of course 4, py which is going to be 2, and rounded lg, and the text of course small, and the font medium, and whenever I'm hovering it, bg should be blue 200. Then transition, and then duration 150, ease in out, and inside here I need to render that question. All right. Okay, so now if you save it, you might not see anything because we don't even have the related questions. So what I need to do is just exactly the same way what we did for the generating the keywords, we need to generate the related questions. So let's get back to the top. So right after here, this is the place where we generated the keyword. Here I'm going to say await generate related questions. Open it, supply the text into it. Oh, we don't have this function. So let me copy this, scroll all the way to the bottom, and here const generate this questions, right? So generate the related questions, which is going to be an asynchronous function, and open it. This is going to receive the text, and that is going to be string, and let's call a callback function. All right. So just exactly the same thing what we did for identifying the image. So I'm just going to copy these two, copy, paste it over here, right? We need to, because we need to create a new instance for generating the questions, because again we are going to call that, right? So I'm gonna say try and catch. Here console.log, get the error as the error, and get the message out of it, save it. And now inside the try block over here, I'm gonna get the result. Const result is equals to await model dot generate content, open it array, and I'm gonna supply the prompt something like this. Let me bring the prompt over here and paste it. So based on the following information about an image, generate 5 related questions to that someone might ask to learn more about that subject, and paste that text and format the object as a simple list of questions on per line, right? This is the prompt I'm using for generating the content. Then right after here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the const response. Response is equals to await result dot response. Then right after here, I'm going to say const questions, which is equals to response dot text dot trim, then dot split by using /n. Perfect. So then I'm gonna assign that into set related questions, open it into the questions. Oops. QUEST questions. Now that is perfectly fine. Perfect. If there is any error is happening, then I'm just going to say related questions as an empty array. Bingo. Perfect. All right. So now let's check it out. Click over here and choose an image, click it, identify the image, and there we go. See, now it is displaying the related questions as well as, right? Because this function has been triggered and this prompt is being generated, regenerated, and is displaying over here. So if you wish to add a loading state for this generating the questions separately, you can do that, and you can add some loading animations as well as, right? So now we have that. Now all I have to do is to, for this, I need to click this and I need to regenerate the content, right? So in order to do that, what I need to do is, so basically I'm just going to add an on click function for this. On click, I'm just going to say a callback function, ask related question, open it, then you need to supply the question to it. So let's go ahead and generate the content for it. Scroll all the way to the top, and right after this function, so we're going to ask that question. So just exactly the same way what we did for this. I'm just going to say const ask related question, open it, callback function, and this is going to get the question, which is a type of string itself, and inside here I'm going to say identify the image, open it, and use the string literals, and I'm just going to say the prompt as answer the following question about the image, right? Answer the following question about the image, supply the question over here, which is we got in the parameter called question itself. Save it. This is the prompt, right? So this will regenerate the content. So let me check it out over that. Click it, choose it, identify the image, and it's generated. What are the different varieties of rubber plant? Click it, and there we go. See, we are getting the different varieties as well. So it is asking the questions based on that particular image. So it's regenerating the content so the user can learn much more information about that image. So now we have the complete information, and now we need to display this sections, how it works and features and the footer. So let's go ahead and do that rest of the stuff. Okay, so now all we have to do is to go ahead and display the section. So let me scroll, wait a minute, all the way to the bottom. So this is the division where it gets ended. So right after here, I'm going to create a section with an ID of how it works. I think this ID needs to be properly mapped with our header. Where it is? Here it is. Copy this. And that needs to be properly mapped up over here. Something like that. So, right. Then here, I'm just going to say margin top. Of course, it's going to be 16. And inside here, I'm going to bring an h2, which is going to be exactly the same style, which we already have, h2, how it works, right? And I'm going to create a division, which is going to be class name of grid, then grid column 1, then medium grid column 3, medium devices onwards, then gap, of course, which is going to be 8. Then inside here, right? So basically what we are going to do is I'm going to create a so you can see that, which is basically the dummy text, right? So we can use the same dummy text over here. So over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an array, and I'm just going to upload the title itself. You can use the real-time data, which that's up to you. And here I'm just going to say AI analysis, then get results. Then I'm gonna say dot map, open it. Then I'm gonna get the step. Then I'm gonna get the index. Step is nothing but the value, so don't worry about it. Then render it. Then here I'm going to say create a div. Then I'm going to supply the key as the index. Then let's say class name, which is going to be the BG white, and rounded, of course, which is going to be LG, and shadow, which is going to be the medium, and padding, of course, 6. Then I'm going to have the transition, then the duration, which is going to be the 150, then ease in out, then transform over, I need to say scale, which is going to be 105, right? And inside this division, I'm gonna bring div class name text3 excel. Okay, then I'm gonna say font bold. Then I'm gonna say text blue as 600, then margin bottom as 4. And inside this division, I need to display the index number, index plus 1. Then right after here, I'm going to create h3 for heading, and I'm going to display the step value, whatever the value heading, like upload image or AI analysis, whatever it is, I'm going to display that. Then I'm going to get that size of that text and font semi bold, and margin bottom as 2, and the text color should be gray 800. Then right after this, I'm going to bring a paragraph tag for that paragraph tag, which is going to display this specific content for everything. Okay, otherwise you can customize this content as you wish for each and everything, because instead of loading this array from here, you can keep this array in a separate file and manage these datas and everything. All right, so that's up to you. So save it. So this is how it looks. Perfect. Now we have that specific how it works sections. So right after this section, now all I have to do is to copy this one more time and paste it. And let me get back over here, copy this and replace it over here, change this into features, right? And instead of that specific so this needs to be 2 columns, and the array needs to be updated. Instead of this, I'm going to use this accurate identifications, detailed informations, faster results, user-friendly interface, something like this, right? So save it, and this is how it looks. Okay, so if you wish to make some changes over here, I'm going to delete this. And for this Excel font semi bold margin top, instead of this, I'm going to change this to blue 600. This is how it looks, right? Perfect. And now let's check it out. Click over here, choose an image, open it, identify this image. There we go. We have ourselves a fully functional website where the user can analyze any image. Literally you can upload any image, it can analyze it and it can give it to you. For instance, let's say if I get back over here, downloads, and let me choose image store. Let me get back to the banner and let me choose this one, and let's see what is it giving for us. Identify this image. Okay, so image information, this is an image of food ad restaurant perfect, and it is the future of bowl chicken curry, the tagline of super delicious menu this weekend only, and up to 50% of offer and free home delivery. It is an advertising prompt special deal for the chicken curry, and this image uses the bright colors and bold font for the grab attentions. It's targeting the people who are looking for the delicious and affordable meal. Damn, that's so straight about this image, because that is what exactly that this image is all about, right? So we successfully built a nice image identifier just by using the Gemini API and by using the tech stacks like Next.js 14 with TypeScript. All right, so you can get this source code in the for free. I dropped the link in the description below, so please go ahead and click that link and you can access this. And I given the instructions how to set up this project and everything. It's mentioned in that GitHub itself. All right, So I hope you enjoyed this session. If you enjoyed this video, so drop the thumbs up and hit the like button and drop your opinions in the comment sections. And if you have any other ideas for working something like the projects like this, drop those ideas in the comment. I will definitely look into it. All right. Have a great day.